We brought on Weep Ninny Bum. We're back with a brand new video. And guess where I am? If you guess the four-wheel studio, aka my car, you would be absolutely right, because that's where I am. No, it had been the case, but I didn't feel like waiting until I got back. I wanted to go ahead and get this done because I got some other obligations that will require my attention upon my arrival back at the homestead. But getting right into excuse me, today's video. So I saw this snippet of an interview with former NBA player Kendall Gill, and I believe this comes from the Breeze podcast. So shout out to the Breeze podcast. And to kind of set this up, they're talking basketball, and of course nowadays you cannot discuss basketball of any level without it at some point coming back to this GOAT debate, if you will. And as it's been going on for years, it's really starting to become wearisome on me. It just comes up, and they try to boil it down to just two players, and there's so many other all-time greats and great players in general that don't get their just dues, that don't get talked about enough, because everything has to be boiled down to this singular discussion. But to get off my soapbox on that, Kendall Gill, of course, he was asked about that, and I don't want to take anything away from what Mr. Gill had to say. So what I'm going to do is let you hear what he had to say, and then I'm going to come back on the other side with my reaction and thoughts on it.
Okay, so you have a guy that's Michael absolutely had no weaknesses. Okay, so you have a guy that's a crazy competitor. You have a guy that's a crazy athlete with a 48-inch vertical jump, that's strong, that's vicious, he just got it all. And he got an attitude. I know there's been a lot of comparisons, to LeBron James and, MJ, but man, MJ is the greatest NBA player of all time. I have arguments with a lot of people about it and things like this, and the numbers don't lie, but this man, and here's how I settle the MJ debate. Okay. Mm-hmm. I work for the Chicago Bulls now as a broadcaster. Yeah. I'm in the United Center all the time. And I did this specifically to get the answers of executives from other teams. All right. Every time a team comes in here to the United Center, I'm sitting in the United Center right now as we do this interview. But I go downstairs and I ask each executive in their prime, who would you take in the draft? Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Not one said that they would take LeBron James over Michael Jordan. That's how you know. The guys in the business know. All right, and you could have all kind of speculation about in podcasts and guys giving their different opinions. Hey man, the guys who make the decisions just told you. Not one of them. I ask every NBA team that comes in here to the United Center, and that's what they say.
So there you have it. You just heard the comments of Kendall Gill, former NBA player, current Chicago Bulls broadcaster, analyst. I really enjoy his work, not because of what he had to say. I've just always been a fan of how he goes about his business. But anyway, yeah, so he broke it down. He let you know exactly not only where he stands on the matter in terms of analyzing Michael Jordan and everything that he brought to the table. I thought it was interesting that he kind of took it a step further. He wasn't talking about, he didn't talk to guys in the media. He didn't talk to podcasters. But, these days podcasters become NBA coaches, so maybe you need to. But that's another story for another day. But he said he talks to the guys in those rooms in the ivory tower of each individual team. And I thought it was interesting that he asked that, but the fact that unanimously they all said that they would take Michael Jordan, I can't say it comes as a surprise to me. I thought maybe somebody would have been silly enough to pick one, but again, it just really goes to show the greatness of Michael Jordan. Even 20 plus years after he's retired, he's still not universally, but the consensus greatest player of all time. And this comes from general managers, front office people, and things of that nature. Now I know that the sycophants will discredit these people because they didn't say what they wanted them to say. They'll talk about how they don't know anything, how they're just old, they're stuck in the past, or whatever they're going to say to try to discredit them. But let me say this. I personally think a couple things. One, I do think that when it comes to this Jordan-LeBron debate, I definitely agree with the great Hakeem Olajuwon that Michael Jordan is a far superior player to LeBron James. And that's not to take away, because dig this, LeBron James is an all-time great. I mean, you can't take that away from this brother. You can't. I mean, he's an all-time great, and he's got a resume that nearly anybody who's ever played the game of basketball at a high level would chew their right arm off for. No doubt about it, all day, every day. I'm not going to say the guy's a bum or things of that nature. I just don't think he's the greatest ever, and I don't think he's better than Michael Jordan. Not only that, I think that this whole quote-unquote GOAT debate, this comparison between these two, is the most fabricated, manufactured sports debate in history. I've been in sales before, and I know a bad sales job when I see one, and that's what this is. Because here's the thing, and the sycophants won't like this, but before they manage to wedge him out of the paint, so to speak, the discussion was Jordan and Kobe. I mean, it was an intense discussion. Again, I thought Jordan was better, but it was a real discussion that was going on all over the place. Amongst your rank and file fans to some of the people, in the upper echelon of the game. Like, it was a real discussion. And then all of a sudden, they just start pushing this LeBron James thing, and it's not even a discussion. Whether you want to get down to the superficial level, you want to dig into the numbers further, whether you want to go by the eye test, it's just not. It's just a manufactured, overly sold, overly pushed debate by the media and Clutch Sports to basically elevate him while denigrating and denigrating, I just go with that word because I can't talk. Not only Michael Jordan, but every other player of every other era in order to do it. And that's how you really know that your argument has no legs and no merit, because if your player is as great as you say, you should be able to, the arguments for him should stand on its own without having to downplay, tear down, disrespect other players or other eras. But they've made it a sport. They've brought such things unfortunately into the sports lexicon in terms of discussions now, to where you have national television people following suit to that. But yeah, in closing, because I don't want to belabor this point too long, whether you want to, whatever you want to go by, Michael Jordan is the best player. And I don't, LeBron is great, but I certainly don't think he's the best, and I certainly don't have him at 2, for that matter. But Kendall Gill really kind of laid the smackdown on this GOAT debate. But what do you think about what Kendall Gill had to say? Do you agree with him? Do you take exception with what he had to say? Let us know in the comments section. Let's have a conversation about it. As always, I thank you for spending a few moments with me. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tell the ones that you love them, and check on your people no matter where they are. Peace.